Laylatul Qadr means the night of power, but what it truly implies is equilibrium, because Laylatul Qadr makes you achieve equilibrium, and it is the very same equilibrium that answers the great Abrahamic dilemma, a dilemma which most of the Abrahamic religions don't have any answer to it. Now, if you look at the beliefs of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, they believe that the prophets and the respectable people lived for more than 1,000 years. Just to name a couple of them, Sayyidina Adam, Prophet Adam alayhi salam, lived for almost 1,000 years. Sayyidina Nuh alayhi salam lived for 950 years. And Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself said that my ummah the lifespan of my ummah is between 60 years and 70 years, if you're lucky. Having learned this, one of the disciples of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked him, if our lifespan is, say, 70 years of age, and the lifespan of the previous prophets and their people were 1,000 years, don't you think that's unfair? Unfair for us, because it will mean that the previous people had a better chance to perform good deeds for 1,000 years, while today our people are just maybe doing good deeds for 50 years, 60 years. So there's no equilibrium there. The people before us had more years to perform more good deeds as compared to us. And some of the Sahabas became Muslims at the age of 30, some of them at the age of 40, and they lived for 20 more years. So it means that they only had 20 years of good deeds. If you compare that to the previous people, that's uncomparable, right? So that's the reason why Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that there is Laylatul Qadr, which is the 97th chapter of the Quran. So in it says that the last 10 days of Ramadan, more so the last alternative days of the month of Ramadan. So we're talking about the 21st, 23rd, 25th, 27th, and 29th. These are the night where Laylatul Qadr is more often appears. But in short, you could try just the last 10 days. Okay, so the night of power comes in the last 10 days of Ramadan, and 1 month, according to the Quran, one night is equals to 1,000 months. 1,000 months meaning 83 years. So that is an equivalent of 1 second. Every second is equal to 23 hours. So what does this mean? Well, the meaning of this is that when you perform any good deed this night, either you performed salah, you prayed, or you did adhkar, or you recited the Quran, or you gave out charity, it will be as if you did this for 83 whole years. Okay, so let's say, for instance, and the thing is, I see a lot of people pressuring themselves and over-exerting themselves. So what I mean by this is they will start doing a lot, or maybe even not sleep the whole night, this first 3 days, and then the last 5 days you'll see them already getting tired because they overly worked themselves. Just the last 10 days, what you need to do, most important, is just to perform your obligatory salah. So Maghrib and Isha, make sure that you perform it in the mosque. And then after every salah, you perform the adhkar as usual, and maybe prayers and recite the Quran. That's it. Plus the Taraweeh, which is the 8 rakats prayers, or maybe 20 rakats if you want to extend them. This alone already makes you get Laylatul Qadr. This alone already makes you surpass a lot of people during Laylatul Qadr. And if you're lucky and healthy, you can as well wake up for tahajjud, and of course you could pray and recite the Quran as well. But you don't need to spend the whole night praying, because a lot of people do this and they start off strong, but then afterwards, like the last days, you'll see them they're tired. Okay, I mean, even Sunnah itself, the Sahabas used to sleep during this night, and then they used to wake up for Tahajjud. So Laylatul Qadr is a blessing for this ummah, and it is the answer to the Abrahamic dilemma.